Hello and welcome back to Teen Questions with me, Hollow, the show where I answer my viewers' questions from the previous Teen Questions. However, this time, I didn't really get any questions. Like, I got a lot of questions, technically, in the comments, though I'd say 50 to 60% of them were questions I'd already answered, right? And then the other 30% were like, what if, or where do you think, or what if future-wise, or what do you think's going to happen to you in certain years, and stuff like this. And these are questions I've already kind of tackled, and my least favourite question to answer is, what if you were a flying pig or a flying donkey? What would you rather be? It's like, completely worthless question, you know? No one gives a fuck. And I get a lot of these questions, you know, what ifs, and, you know, would you rather, and these kind of questions. They're just not that interesting. Like, maybe you think, it's a funny question or something, but no one really cares, is what I'm saying. So, I just want to point out that I do not like questions like that, so I'm going to avoid those. Questions I've already answered, I don't want to answer again. People have already heard the answers. If you're really that interested, go back to previous Teen Questions. And yeah, so I just didn't really get many interesting questions, to be honest with you. So I went to my Twitter and said, could you ask me some thought-provoking questions as best you can, some interesting questions, because I've not really got enough here. So yeah, I'll tackle that at the end. But for now, thank you very much for leaving your questions, and let's get into the questions. Here's the tea. I'm going to drink it to evidence that I have tea. I really fucking love tea. It's so good. So good. The problem with tea is that it's not actually that hydrating as a drink. Whereas if you're drinking water, for example, that's hydrating. That's really hydrating. And I have like a bottle, and I constantly fill it with water when I stream and I record stuff. So I just drink that. And I've slowly kind of waned off tea quite a lot. I used to drink it a lot more than I do now, and I'm happy to kind of kick the habit a little bit, because I drink a bit too much tea, I think. But yeah, there you go. Random. So the first question comes from Fluke, Captain Fluke / Will. At Eurogamer, if you had a relay race against Rage, who would you pick on your team? Now this is a what if question, and I nearly just immediately didn't pick it, but it's kind of funny. So yeah, if me and Rage were going against each other in teams in Eurogamer, and I had to pick people for my team, let's say it was a 4-man team, so myself and 3 others. Well, obviously you've got to pick Fluke. That's the question. I think he's athletic enough to be able to handle it. Peace. He's tall, he's thin, I reckon he'll run fast. Obviously, I exercise a lot, so I think I'll be okay on my team as well. And then, who's going to be the 4th member? Gubiak, I can hardly get him to take a 5-minute walk, the bastard. So, not sure about that one. Who else we got? We got, oh, but then who does that leave for Rage? If I'm just, like, taking everyone, just realised, if I'm taking everyone, who's left for Rage? Who else should I take? Nah, fuck it. We'll take Gubiak because... Oh, no, because Duke's going... no, I want Duke. I'm sorry, Gubiak. I love you if you're listening to this, but I'm sorry, I'm taking Duke. He's got army training. He's probably good at running, like, long distances because he's been in that kind of situation before. I exercise a lot. I think Fluke will be okay, and I think Peace will be okay. So my dream team is Duke, Fluke, Peace and me as the relay team. We will smash the opponents, or smash them. They won't have a chance. Also, very likely, they won't let us do a relay race inside of Eurogamer. So, the plan falls short a little bit. But there you go, there's your first question. Thanks for the question, Fluke. Next comes from Houston Hilburn. How would your thoughts and actions concerning Paradox change if they didn't interact with you so much? So Paradox Interactive is a company that me and Rage are like really good friends with. They've invited us out to go to their events a few times, and we've had a great fun, and we know the people who make those games. Take Magicka, take Europa, take Crusader Kings, these types of games, but also War of the Vikings, War of the Roses, those are the types of games. And Magicka, main one for me because I play a lot of Wizard Wars. I fucking love Wizard Wars. I really know these people who have made them, these games. So, you know, I support them from that standpoint. And I guess the difference really would be I wouldn't have looked at their games anywhere near as much as I do now if they hadn't like interacted with us, because I just wouldn't have looked at these type of games before. Maybe I would have tried Wizard Wars Irrelevant, and I'd probably fallen in love with the irrelevant of knowing the guys. But like, for example, Europa and Crusader Kings 2, I never would have ever touched either of those games, and I fucking love them. They're so well made and in depth, and I really have an appreciation for those types of games now. And the thing is, I didn't ever play them before the event, so I've been to 2 events with them, met the people who made these games, and not played the games, and just given them a shot because I know them, and then that's led me to play these amazing grand strategy games and learn about myself that I really enjoy these games and they're really fun, and you can do crazy shit, and it's just really cool stories you can tell at the end. And I would have never tried one of these games if I hadn't, you know, known these people. And that's the thing, I think that would have been the difference. I would have treated the games that I play with the same sort of experience that I do now, but it means that I actually pay attention to what they do as a company and really give more games they make a shot, because I know how much effort and how well made their games are and how much they cater to the community and they listen to their community as a company. I really respect that. So I guess it's just made me more aware of the company in general, interacting with them, and if I hadn't, I probably would have avoided a lot of really fun games, and that's just how it is. So I guess that's my answer. Thank you for the question, Houston. That was really interesting. Next comes from Ryan or Rin, the Super Giraffe. Who is your favourite character from Game of Thrones and why? Well, this one's a tough one. Okay, so Tyrion is everyone's favourite. He's a really interesting, cool, smart character. So he's got to go off the list, obviously, because everyone says Tyrion. So I know who the answer is, but I am going to just talk about some other stuff first. So Tyrion's father, Tywin, is a tactician genius, previously very good in combat until he obviously was too old to do combat, and is still a formidable foe that many fear. This guy, even if he's not the nicest of guys, is incredibly smart, and he knows that the only thing that's going to be around when they're all dead is their family name and their stories that they have to tell, and he wants to preserve that as his main goal, and he's very smart about that, and he really buffs up the name. And if it wasn't for him, the House Lannister would be nothing compared to what it previously was. It wouldn't be this powerful thing that ultimately it became without him. So I really respect him as a character, and I really like him, and he was very nearly my favourite character. Then you've got Arya, who's like this killing machine going down this really dark path and turning into something. Bear in mind, guys, I've read the books. I'm way past where we are now in the actual TV series, and I will not spoil anything for you, so I'm just going off what's currently in the show without talking about what happens in the books. And then there's Daenerys, who's a really smart, powerful young leader who is forced into this scenario where she's the blood of the dragons and she has dragons. And it's really cool how she chooses to lead her life and her conquest, I guess. And she's a very nice ruler, I guess, like a ruler you'd want. An Iron Fist when it comes to certain things where it requires an Iron Fist, but really has the ability to care and, you know, show mercy, which not many rulers do. Look at Joffrey, for example. So yeah, those are just some of my favourite characters there, but my actual 100% favourite is Jon Snow. He is the underdog. He, from straight away, has no Stark name, even though he was born to his father, Ned Stark, and is a bastard. So everyone's out to get him. He has that problem, and he goes straight to the wall to live out away from his noble birth, his noble ties, I guess, leaving his family behind to go earn himself a name, to go become something more. You know, that's really cool. And he earns everything he has, and he earns the respect of the men at the Night's Watch and the things he goes through. It's all earned by him, one man. And he becomes a leader of sorts, and they train him to be a leader. Obviously, things go wrong, and I won't mention what happens, but as I know from the books, and I know what's going to happen, and the man he becomes, easily, by far, my favourite character. He becomes the coolest motherfucker ever, and is very well respected, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that representation in the series, the TV series. So there you go, Jon Snow. Next up is Alex Colston. What do you find the hardest thing as a YouTuber, and what do you enjoy the most? I'd say the hardest thing as a YouTuber is when you feel down or bad, or you can't seem to grip that feeling of, I don't feel up to making videos today. I don't feel like I can be entertaining enough today, you know? And as a YouTuber, tough shit. You've got to make a video anyway. You need to keep making videos. It's your income. You can't just not show up to work one day kind of thing, you know? But the thing is, I can avoid that as a YouTuber. If I'm a week ahead in videos and I have an off day, then I've got 6 other days that are all pre-recorded and ready to go without needing to worry about it. And if I get sick for a couple of days, I've already pre-recorded a week's worth of videos. You guys never know, and my video quality doesn't suffer for it. So I keep ahead. I keep a week ahead because of that. That's my certain personal rule for that kind of thing. So that solves itself really. And then what do you enjoy the most about it? Probably the fact that I'm creating something and adding something to the world. As, you know, online and that kind of form it is, I am interacting with many, many people. I'm making certain people's days. I'm really happy to hear that. I get lots of messages that are really kind. I get to interact with this amazing community. You know, honestly, I don't have one thing. The whole thing, I really fucking enjoy it. It's an amazing thing, and whether I'm doing it a year from now or not, or wherever I am, it's an amazing experience that I'm really grateful to have had. So thanks, Alex, for the question. Next up from Mads Henriksen. Dear Hollow, will you make a Hearthstone tournament with fans, even if it's a small one, a stream or something? So I'm answering this question because I get this occasionally. There is no spectator mode in Hearthstone, so tournaments cannot happen. Simple as that. I cannot watch you and someone else fight. It'd have to be me against you constantly, and that's not really a tournament, that's just duels. So we cannot do a tournament. Rage can't do one. No one can, unless everyone's sharing the screen. It just becomes really complex, and I can't interact with that many people I don't know and trust them in that way. You know, I don't have the kind of resources to pull something off like that. So that cannot happen until there's a spectator mode in the game, and Blizzard have said they're working on it. So maybe in the future, but it's not going to happen now without a spectator mode. Next question from Philip. Hey Hollow, did you ever do any kind of sport activities like football or basketball when you were younger? Yes. One of my favourites was badminton. Now it's kind of weird, this one. Badminton is like tennis. I played tennis as well. I did tennis. I went to a club, did tennis. Very hard on the body, dude. Oh my god. Cardio. But it was like tennis. I kind of fell out of tennis, and I was like, I kind of like the idea of tennis, but I miss that. But there's certain things I don't really enjoy about it. And I remember playing badminton in gym/PE at school, and being the best in my class, just beating everyone. And it was boring for me because I'd beat everyone because they didn't really care about it. And I was really competitive nature, so I just really went for it all the time. I was top of the class there, but the problem with that was I would constantly go against the teacher. So every time we did badminton, I would just go against the teacher, and they'd usually beat me because they knew what they were doing a bit more than me. I was 14 at the time, so you know, fair enough, they were going to beat me. But you know, the only person who could give me a challenge was the teacher, and then they would beat me because they were just on another level because they're older than me like that. So I actually went to a badminton club and went against people who played professionally and got really fucking good at the game, really good at badminton, and really enjoyed it. And I remember I could still imagine in my head smashing down the bat on the shuttle, and just how fast it flies. It really excites me. Tennis is great and the ball goes really fast and everything, but the court's too big. When you're playing badminton, you're going against someone who's really good. It's just smash, and then they smash it back, and then you jump and smash back. And I got so much into it, I'd actually leap across the goddamn court to smash it back over, and winning with a jumping leap smash down, which is so satisfying. But the problem was, I was going to this club and getting good and going against these professional players, and then I do PE on gym regularly at school and go against people who just didn't care or were really bad. And it got to the point where I was just beating the teacher constantly, and then it was just really boring. So I just partner with friends and then take it easy, and then taking it easy would then result in me going to the club and then being worse, and then getting good again at the club, coming back, taking it easy, being worse. Sorry, I just hit the mic. And never really improving, and then I just fell out of badminton entirely because of that. It was just this annoying struggle, and it never worked out. I also did a lot of running. I played basketball regularly. Cross country was really fun. Rugby was really fun. Dude, I'd go against like this guy who's like muscled or big or whatever, or fat or whatever, and I knew I would never be able to tackle them, but I'd still go for it because it was just so fun, and sometimes I'd even pull it off. And man, rugby was fun, but I wasn't built for it. I'm too tall and thin. I just got hurt too much. So yeah, there's just some list of stuff that I used to do. Now it's all about exercise, personal exercise, just keeping in shape. I don't really play any sports so much right now. It's more just running, cycling, and gym, pretty much, that kind of thing, just to keep in shape. All right, final question from Red Reviews. What are your thoughts on Watch Dogs, and would you ever consider making a playthrough on your channel? No, I probably wouldn't. Watch Dogs looks really fun. I've seen a lot on it. I went to events, press events and stuff, and looked at the game and thought it was really fucking cool. And I was waiting for it to come out on PC. It comes out on PC, and you know what they did? They whacked out a really shitty console port to PC. So essentially what you're doing on PC is playing a console version of the game, except on a PC. So you could play with amazing graphics and an amazing game and all this potential, right? But you weren't allowed to have that because it was a PC, it was a console port put on the PC, which means the graphics were only as good as a console, as the same as if you were running it on a console, and you were incredibly limited, even though on a PC you should be able to do so much more. So with Watch Dogs, I'm really disappointed in them. The port's too bad for me to waste that kind of money. £40 is too expensive for a fucking console port. It should be £15 on a fucking PC. It's not worth the time or the money to play on a PC. You may as well play it on a console, and if you're playing games on a console when you have a high-end computer like me, what's the point of the high-end computer that you spent so much money on to play really good computer games? And then they put out this amazing game and limit it so much with a fucking console port. I'm incredibly disappointed in the game, and I will not pay money for it, at least not that much money for a fucking console port. I'm just incredibly angry about it and really disappointed about it. So yeah, I won't be making a playthrough of the game anytime soon, that's for sure. There is no way I'm going to spend £40 on that game in its current state, and I doubt they'll fix it. I doubt they'll make a proper PC version of the game. It's just how it is, and I'm pissed off with Ubisoft for it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Watch Dogs. Great game, poorly done on PC, probably great on the console if you've got a console. If you've got a gaming PC, massive letdown. So there you go, that's 10 questions. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Some thought-provoking questions there. Thank you very much for the help on Twitter there, guys. But again, I was very disappointed in the comments, the questions in the comments on the last one. So please, if you love teen questions, if you enjoy me sitting down and answering questions like this, then you've got to come up with questions that are original, I've not answered before, ones that are thought-provoking like the ones we've seen today, not just, what if you had to make this choice or this choice in a scenario that would never happen, or perhaps questions like, where are you going to be in 5 years? I'll tell you the answer to that question. I do not fucking know. I can't see into the future. And I've already answered questions like that 6 or 7 times. And it's just a bit boring now, you know? So think of thought-provoking questions. Give me your best shot and we'll keep making teen questions. And if not, then I'll just put the show on hiatus again until we get some new, flavourable questions. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.